Welcome to Flow session of 10 questions in 10 minutes, everyone. This time I'm with Viola, Flow Agency's founder. Viola is the brilliant mind behind Flow Agency, formerly known as Flow SEO. She has been driving force in the content marketing and SEO space since 2018, when she founded the agency with the ambitious vision of creating a role model agency, a place where results, fulfillment, and creativity intersect. Her expertise has not only shaped Flow Agency into a dynamic agency, but also established her a respected speaker on stages worldwide since 2019. Flow Agency recently launched a rebranding, and Viola is here to share all about it. So let's get started. First question. What inspired you to the name of Flow SEO in the first place?
Flow SEO is a brand name that I'm very proud of. I think I don't typically have a talent for creating brand names, and I feel Flow SEO is one that I nailed. It has two components that I like. One is a component of flow, and this is because around the time of launching the agency, I was studying a lot of the work of Stephen Kotler, Jamie Wheel, Mihai Csikszentmihalyi about flow states and deep work. And specifically, the book Stealing Fire has been feeling like the Bible of our community. It was so meaningful in the way it talked about flow states that I knew I wanted to anchor that concept into the brand. Also, because in my previous work as in an agency and freelancer, everything was hectic, everything was chaos, everything was last minute. And I wanted to have that antidote of like, yes, we have flow and deep work. It's not just a hustle and the grind. And then SEO, I named myself for the same reason, because I wanted to limit the type of services that I offer. After working for an agency that offered everything and anything to anyone, I was like, no, I don't want to make the same mistake again. I'm going to call it Flow SEO, and I'm only going to sell SEO services.
So why did you decide to change the name now?
Great question. And it's simple as that is, we don't just offer SEO anymore. So for the last 2 years, our clients have been asking us for complementary services, especially Google ads, Bing ads, but also LinkedIn ads. And so I had to face the reality that to existing clients, we had started selling performance marketing. And it was always awkward when I would talk to a net new prospect and I would say, yes, we're called Flow SEO, but we also do performance marketing. And it was just kind of like not very smooth in the sale process. And so while SEO was my wedge, and I'm happy that I was so specific and niche down early on, with time, we offered complementary services and the brand name just didn't fit anymore.
I see. So it's a whole rebranding. So what's the biggest challenge when doing this type of rebranding, like domain ranking, social listening?
The hard part here is that we really struggle to find a new brand name. We were called Flow SEO. It rhymes. It's classic. It's very, very cool. Now we're called Flow Agency. I would say Flow Agency is pragmatic. It's also descriptive in the sense it tells us what we are. We are an agency. It's open enough so that we hopefully don't have to rebrand again in 5 years. But the problem is there's a lot of flow agencies out there. The concept of flow states became very, very popular, not just with the kind of like hippies and yogis, but also with the peak performance people and, biohackers and productivity people. And so there's a lot of flow agencies out there. So we had a hard time securing the domain. We had a hard time securing, handles for YouTube, for LinkedIn, and all that, because there was so many other flow agencies around. And now that we've rebranded, our challenge is we need to outperform all these other flow agencies, whether that's in organic search, whether that's in LinkedIn search, whether that's in YouTube search. It's a bet that we took. We are saying like, okay, we are an SEO team. We will be able to outperform them. We checked them. Their domain ratings were not strong. Their social handles were not strong, but that's still a challenge. And I see even friends of ours click just by muscle memory the first search results, and I see them click on the wrong flow agency, and it makes me cringe. And so, yeah, actually owning real estate for the brand name is incredibly difficult because there's so many flow agencies. People always take branded search as a given, and I've already learned with other clients it's not a given. We have a client called Beekeeper. We have a friend at Rattle. There's companies that are called Lighthouse or Greenhouse. It's not always obvious that you're owning page one and that you're the only one there. And so flow doesn't make sense because flow is also a real estate project. It's also a crypto coin. It's also the Flow state. And then Flow Agency, there's also all these other agencies. So it's a difficult one. It's really, really difficult.
So if you could do it all over again, how would you choose a brand name?
I would try next time to do a made up brand name, something that hasn't existed before, something that's like net new, fantasy word. I would not want to make the fantasy word so complicated, but I would want to make sure that all domains, all social media handles, and all page one is still available, so that when people type the fantasy word, they can also find us. It's also going to make all social listening easier, because if I'm social listening for Flow, all kinds of stuff comes up. If you're social listening for Beekeeper or Rattle, it's confusing. So I would do a fantasy name for the next one, but I would not want to make it so crazy that people couldn't understand it. And that's kind of like the test in a bar. If you're meeting someone in the bar and you're telling them the name of the company and it's kind of noisy around, are they going to be able to understand it properly? So I would want it to be a little bit fantasy, but not too crazy.
Coming back to the services of Flow Agency, what can clients expect from the agency in the future?
The idea is that it's one team, one strategy, all in alignment. So we're going to work across SEO, content strategy, search ads, and LinkedIn ads with a united approach for our B2B success.
And how has AI changed the way we produce content and search for information? Has it changed in the routine of the SEOs?
Absolutely. And I think that's also another reason why I wanted to introduce other services and language into our service portfolio. I think AI has changed us in two ways. One, searching is a lot more fragmented. We don't just search on Google now, we also search on Perplexity, on ChatGPT, on Gemini. So search is a lot more fragmented. The way information is being curated is very, very different with Google's AI overview or large language models. And then secondly, marketing just got so much more productive with AI tools and content marketing. A lot of the busy work is falling away. The cost of content is literally dropping to zero. And so we need to reorient ourselves, because in that fragmented search environment that's flooded by AI content, it's very hard to distinguish signal from the noise. And that's kind of like where the frontier is at right now. It's like, how do we actually stand out in all of this?
Yeah, so how to future-proof a B2B marketing strategy? It's hard.
Exactly, it's hard. And the goal would be that it's like, how do we stand out? How do we get remembered? How do we make marketing a function that actually makes sales easier in the future, right? How do we build trust with our prospects? How do we become part of their consideration set? So the way I've been thinking about this is a 3-step approach: scrutinize, optimize, scale. And the scrutinize is really being honest with ourselves, like, what is working for us today? If you're running the same playbook on LinkedIn as 2 years ago, you're not going to have the same results as 2 years ago. And so we need to be honest with ourselves, like, what is working today? Optimize and lean into these efforts, and then use that as a wedge to kind of like start scaling.
So what is in the cards for Flow Agency in 2025?
I'm currently all about getting back to in-person. We've always been remote native. I've not really attended any conferences, events during COVID and the years after. And right now I'm hungry for in-person events, for personal connections. And so you'll see us at a lot more conferences, events, podcasts, and these sort of things moving forward.
What has been most rewarding moment in the journey with Flow Agency so far? Long way.
Along the same lines, about a year ago, we ran our first team retreat here in Berlin, and then we did a second one 6 months ago in Madrid. And to be honest, I never really had that strong appetite of like, oh, we need to do a team retreat, we need to hang out in person. But it was nothing short of life-changing. And I can remember on the first team retreat, right, we were a very small group. And I think there was myself, Boban, Gabby, Angela. Yeah, I think it was the 4 of us. And we were kind of talking about how it is working together and what it means for us. And to my own surprise and to everyone's surprise, we all started crying, which I think was a sign of like joy and gratitude. And yeah, the team retreats and the connections we've been able to build have been really special.
That's beautiful. So one last question for you, and it's, how do you ensure that your team stays ahead in the latest trends and developments in the constant changing landscape that we have right now?
It's a question of signal in the noise, right? Between all the opinions that are out there on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on YouTube, like whom do you listen to? And so there's a handful of marketers and influencers that I love, that I trust. Lily Ray is one of them, Kevin Indig, Emily Kama, MKT1. And so Ryan Lott, a Haters. And so I'm turning to the people I trust, to the people I like, to the people who dig deep. And that's my signal in the noise. And these are the type of people that we like to follow and learn from.
Yes, to have as reference. Okay, we're done with the 10 questions. Thank you, Viola, for being here with us.
Appreciate the interview. Thank you.
Okay, see you next time.